Britain's empire was not glorious. It was genocide disguised as greatness. Camps, famines, slavery built its wealth, and the receipts still stain today's economy, museums, and schools. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll see how this history still funds your present, and why silence is collaboration. Welcome to the Progressive Wave. Truth, resistance, no compromise. Join us, subscribe, help push this history into the light where it belongs. Empire was never peaceful or voluntary. Colonies did not join, they were seized. In Amritsar, in the Punjab, spring of 1919, British troops surrounded unarmed civilians and opened fire until the ammunition ran dry. The official record concedes hundreds dead. Indian estimates run far higher. A century later, the archives still call it repression, not reform. Quick gut check. Were you taught civilizing or massacre? Say the word out loud. Feel which one tells the truth. Genocide and massacres were not accidents. They were methods. In Van Diemen's Land, today's Tasmania, the Black War reduced an indigenous people to a remnant. A case study genocide scholars now include in the global record of extermination. When textbooks whisper, graves do the shouting. Write it in ink that bleeds forever. Empire killed. Famine was policy. In Bengal in 1943, millions starved while imperial shipping priorities and requisitions deepened scarcity. In Ireland a century earlier, the potato blight was real, but laissez-faire dogma and exported food made mass death inevitable. Officials called famine a judgment, a remedy, theology dressed up as economics. Type the two words that best describe this. My choice? Policy famine. What's yours? Justice begins. The second the myth dies. Starvation is not weather. Starvation is power. Slavery and human trafficking bankrolled the imperial age. Britain was a leading architect of the Atlantic system that forced millions into bondage. When abolition finally came in the 1830s, the state compensated enslavers, not the enslaved. Universities and churches still trace endowments to those payouts. Plunder built it. Interest is overdue. Names are known. Should today's beneficiaries repay? Yes or no? Drop your answer now. Concentration camps and torture. Imperial tools long before Europe learned the word from others. During the South African War at the turn of the 20th century, camps overcrowded and diseased killed tens of thousands, most of them children. Half a century later, Kenya was ringed with detention camps, forced labour, sexual violence, castration. In 2013, the British Foreign Secretary admitted torture, paid survivors, and then declassified files revealed migrated archives, hidden for decades to bury the trail. One-word reaction to migrated archives? Mine is cover-up. Yours? Policy doesn't need a furnace? Crimes do. Economic extraction was the point, not a side effect. India's share of global income collapsed under a system designed to drain resources outward. Landmark estimates place the colonial transfer at tens of trillions of dollars present value. The imperial core industrialized, while colonies were underdeveloped on purpose. Today's inequality maps eerily onto yesterday's shipping routes. Still watching? Smash like now, so this doesn't get buried by the algorithm. Cultural erasure and racism justified the machinery, languages banned, religions mocked, statues raised to celebrate conquest. White supremacy gave empire its alibi. Even medals canonized the image of an angel on a body forced to the ground. In our living memory, we saw that same pose replayed on a human neck in the streets. If your values say all people are equal, then your history curriculum should act like it. Comment with the one imperial myth you were taught that now feels indefensible. Dignity is not a British export, it is a human birthright. Consider 3 snapshots that cut through euphemisms. Punjab, peaceful protest met bullets. Malaya, 500,000 civilians corralled behind wire, collective punishment by another name. Tibet, 1903. A British expedition insisted it was not an invasion, then mowed down fighters in minutes. Even their own officers called it slaughter. Euphemism fires the first bullet. Historical amnesia is policy. For generations, schools taught glory, not grief. Maps coloured red, not blood. But the record is there. Statements of regret for torture in Kenya, museums auditing slave money, files once meant for fire now open. If you have ever said, "We did bad things, but we also did good," ask yourself, did any good demand mass death to be possible? When textbooks whisper, graves shout. If you want nostalgia, name the dead first. Why this matters now: borders drawn for profit still burn, economies wired for extraction still bleed, racial hierarchies engineered to rule, still police who lives and who breathes. If you live in Britain, the United States, or any nation enriched by this system, the dividends of dominion show up in your pensions, your museums, your schools. If your values are compassion and equality, then your actions must be memory and repair. Remember without repair? That's collaboration. Starvation is logistics, wearing a halo. The empire's archives don't bleed, but millions did. The map was red because the ledgers were black. Decolonize the syllabus or colonize the next generation. If this shocked you, comment below. If this affirmed what your family already told you, write their names so we remember truth-telling lineages. The headline is simple, and we will not let it blur. The British Empire was a system of organized violence, economic plunder, and racial domination. And its ruins still shape our world. Like, share, subscribe. Turn amnesia into accountability, nostalgia into names, and pride into repair.
Thank you for tuning in and supporting our journey at the Progressive Wave, where knowledge, New York City, and community come together to make a difference. Every view, comment, and share strengthens our growing community, and we're excited to have you along for the ride. Our mission is simple: to dive into the heart of today's most pressing issues, examining current events, news, and politics through a critical, human-centered lens. With so much unfolding in the world, it is easy to feel disconnected or overwhelmed. But that is why we are here. We aim to bring clarity and context, shining a light on the stories that shape our lives, while empowering our audience to think critically, ask questions, and get involved. And of course, as a New York City-based platform, we are passionate about sharing the magic of New York City with you. From hidden gems to iconic landmarks, we cover everything that makes this city unique and resilient, adding a local flavor to our discussions on broader social and political matters. But what really sets the Progressive Wave apart is our dedication to community engagement. This is a space for shared learning and discussion,